O.J. Williams. O.J. Williams. You came on First Take or whatever that garbage show is, and you said that Anthony Edwards needs to pattern his game after Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Am I actually? What, you just think you rub a genie and you're gonna turn into Kobe and Jordan overnight? They so desperate for Ant to be the next face American born player that they say the most ludicrous, craziest things you can imagine. He needs to be the first Anthony Edwards. He don't need to be the next Dwayne Wade. He don't need to be the next Kobe Bryant. He don't need to be the next Michael Jordan. He needs to be the first Anthony Edwards. He needs to learn how to take and cipher aspects of people's games. Even when Kobe was doing his best mockumentary of Michael Jordan, he still shot outside shots. He still was working on different techniques. It was different technique than Jordan. No matter how much you pad and walk, like, you can't be the person because A, you're not in the same time period. B, you're playing for a different situation and circumstances. And C, you're in a lane where you're being held to a different standards. Anthony Edwards talked all that yang about Jordan being the only skilled player back then, and he can't get by Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic. He can't get by Jay Will and Shea. He can beat up on old men, but he can't get by the young men. I think if I'm looking at his game, he obviously needs a low post player where it can create easy baskets, give and go, pick and roll. He needs to bring his game more to a mid range, shorter range. But he's playing in an era where you got to shoot the three ball. You have to be high volume. You have to be ooh and ah, and then you got to dunk and all that. He got to figure out a way to probably do, what we call a 999, 9 points every quarter, to get average about 27 and pushing like 7 to 8 boards, 7, 8 assists, couple blocks, couple steals. He got to fill up stat sheets, but he has to be subtle. But he has to have a low post presence. I don't think that but I think what a point guard would stabilize him. That's why his game is not like Kobe's and Jordan's. Kobe did never thrive without a big man. And Michael Jordan and Pippen were interchangeable because of how they played, but they still utilized a guard. But he needs a point guard that can stabilize him, make him more dangerous. He's not as dangerous as he could be because everybody is a spread sheet to the 3 line. They need to make the interior to make his exterior more dangerous inside. But when you have a center like Rudy Gobert who don't know anything about give and go, who doesn't really do anything in terms of offense, that sets you back. Teams get a chance to zero in on him. So it's a cover too. It's like playing football. It's like a safety, top of a corner. They come in on a package you, and they slow you down. They kind of do him like how Reggie Bush got dead in the NFL. Yeah, you're athletic, but we got guys for that. And then we run you off. How does he get ran off in the third round when he gets through the first two? Well, again, let's look at the circumstances. Against the Lakers, and even the games that they lost, there is a pattern with him where he kind of lulls before he picks it up. He did it against Golden State. It's just they had no answer. Kumingas was tearing the butt up inside, but they had nothing on the outside. And he does enough to facilitate. He does enough to go through the motion. But they want this hype for him. And I hear Jay Williams talking. I'm like, are you just a first class idiot? Are you just dense? What kind of turkeyness are you saying? You think, oh, well, if you do this, you'll be like Kobe and Jordan. No, you won't. No, you won't. You got to put the work in and you got to outwork everybody. Michael Jordan came with a standard state that he was getting beat up literally by the Pistons. And he had to get physical. And Anthony Edwards was a big boy already. So that's not the size factor. Kobe had to bulk up, had to learn how to shoot outside against Utah. He had to get embarrassed. And had to go deal with Shaq. And he had to get the right coach. I think that is part of the problem that I see with Ant, man. There's too much coddling. There's too much of, the hype. You got to play ball. And then everything will come. SGA Alexander might not have had the most exciting things with everything, but they play ball, they win. That's what you got to do. You got to go and get somebody that will complement your style. Not because you're just trying to get ooh and ah. They're trying to sell Ant like Broadway. And like I said, it won't be long before they say, won't you get out of Minnesota and come team up with Luka? And maybe save LeBron when his grandson comes to play. They're going to try to either lure him out of there or try to make him into like, oh, if he had been like this, he'd have been. You're gonna hear Nick Wright say some stupidness like he could have been Kobe, could have been Jordan. No, he couldn't have been. He's a different type of player. He's big and physical, athletic, but he has to bring the game, and there's a different type of game he has to play. But to see Jay Williams up here talking about Anthony Edwards could be the next Kobe or Jordan if is hilarious. That's not going to happen. Do you realize what those guys had to do to get better? Kobe had to bulk up. That Utah game hit him like a bad stain. He remembered air balls. Jordan remembered the Pistons knocking him on his behind. Ant ain't really had that happen. He just got outplayed, out hustled, and got outworked by guard units. So he got to find him a partner besides Julius Randle and a coach that knows how to systematically put him in his place. He needs somebody who can give him subtle structure that make him more effective. That's how he be effective. But ain't gonna be no Dwayne Wade, you ain't gonna be no Kobe, ain't gonna be no Jordan, ain't gonna be no Clyde Drexler, ain't gonna be no Jerry West. You know, you got an upside to you, but you gotta find it. Because if he don't, he'll be the bridesmaid. And that's what's happening right now. And he gotta have some humble pie to get tired of losing and don't act like, oh, whatever. Cause it's gotta hurt. When you start getting in your years, I'm gonna tell the kids something. You ain't 25 yet, but you ain't gonna stay 25 forever. Ask Allen Iverson. I can name a lot of cats. Athleticism came, went, they got old, they never got to the show. Let's see what you're gonna do. But you gotta put the work in and stop letting the dream factory of ESPN and Fox and them try to tell you that you're gonna morph into this guy. You're gonna be. That's not how it works. Please select, subscribe, work on thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke for free. I'm out. Peace.